Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Friday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Caleb Brooks, and we'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. The College World Series is going to get underway, in about an hour, as the first game will be first pitch will be about 1 o'clock there between Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Later today or tonight, Notre Dame and Texas, and then Arkansas and Stanford at 1 o'clock, and Ole Miss and Auburn at 6 o'clock on Saturday. So looking forward to that. We'll look at those games, break those down a little bit. We talked a pretty good bit about Auburn and Ole Miss yesterday. Kind of went back and looked at their three-game series in Auburn earlier this year. Kind of interesting. Joseph Gonzalez did not pitch in that series. He's going to get the start to kick things off. I think that's probably a good move. You go out there, you got to win. You can't go 2-0 if you don't go 1-0. So I think that's the move. That's the move that Butch Thompson is going to make. He's going to put his best out there and see if Auburn can stay in the winner's bracket. So we'll look at that. We'll look at some different things going on in and around football. Some kind of information from the inside. We will look at several different things, several different topics. Auburn got quite a few official visitors in this weekend. We'll kind of look at those and see how this Auburn's recruiting class continues. A lot of guys getting on campus, a lot of the guys that you like to see. Auburn firmly in on a lot of these guys. You'd like to hear, again, everything that's coming out from this. But as it stands right now, Auburn has only 2 commitments, I think, for the upcoming recruiting class, and that is the least amount in the entire SEC. So Auburn planning on oversigning really about 30 to 31 players this year, as the NCAA has kind of backed off that 25 limit each and every year because of the COVID and everything. So should be interesting, but we'll look at some of those players coming in this weekend and maybe talk about what kind of chances Auburn has with them. As always, we'd love to hear from you. Love to know what's going on with you and how you feel about Auburn and the College World Series, the recruiting class, the upcoming college football season, whatever you'd like to talk about. It's open forum today, 256-234-6221. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind. Look us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page, that's Sports with a Z, and comment away. Our old pal David, our co-host here on the Auburn Blitz, on his way. He says, "What's up, guys? We are in Memphis, on the way to Omaha, planning to get in around 10 p.m. So
be careful in Memphis there, David.
Yeah. Going to be a long –
depends on what part you're at.
Going to be a long drive.
But be careful there in Memphis. I actually had a buddy of mine who went to the Bass Pro Shops there in Memphis a couple years ago and got their car broken into, and – they were going on like a fishing trip or a hunting trip, and they got all their stuff stolen. And,
oh, no.
Yeah, so just depends on where you're at in Memphis, but you got to be careful in Memphis for sure.
You heard it here first, David, so keep the windows rolled up.
Yeah. Well, hey, their windows are rolled up. They got their windows busted, so sometimes it don't matter.
Don't hit the brake, I guess is what Caleb was saying.
Just get on right through.
Get on right through. So David is going to give us an update, hopefully, on Monday. He's going to give us a call on the show and tell us exactly what's going on. Not stopping, flying through. That they have the foot on the gas as they are going through Memphis, Tennessee right now. All right, the College World Series, Caleb, kicked off today. We talked about Auburn and Ole Miss. Let's just start there. That matchup, Ole Miss probably one of the hottest teams in the country. I think Dylan DeLucia is going to get to start. Joseph Gonzalez going to get to start for Auburn. So, how do you see this matchup right now?
I think Ole Miss is one of those teams that we see it in the NCAA tournament every year where you have that one team that doesn't play well in their conference, and they were favored at the beginning of the year. They don't live
Got
up
the
to
number one.
expectations. Yeah, that type of stuff. And then next thing you know, you get in, and it's like this big sigh of relief of, oh man, okay, well, we're in. So now let's just go play. And that's kind of what they've done. They've knocked the ball around. They've pitched it. They pitched it really well this past weekend. They didn't pitch as well in the regional, but to me, that's what it's going to take to beat Auburn. They're going to have to pitch the ball really, really well. They're going to have to throw the way that Oregon State threw this past week, and not the way that Florida State, UCLA, and those type of teams pitch. I mean, they're going to have to pitch really well because if Auburn gets going from an offensive standpoint, I think it'll be tough on Ole Miss, especially with Gonzalez on the mound, to try to keep up with Auburn. So, I mean, the biggest key for Joseph Gonzalez is just go do what he's been doing for the most part. I mean, outside of when he's been injured, he's been really, really good. So
that's the thing about sinker ballers. I mean, you never quite know, but if they're on, it can be, it's pitching to contact. It's, every now and then, I mean, and you run into some bad luck where guys just find holes. But, I mean, for the most part, I mean, if you can keep it in the park, you feel really, really good about your chances with a guy like that on the mound. So he's, like you said, he's been really consistent. He's been Auburn's most consistent pitcher. It's the bats. You got to swing the bats. You got to hit the ball. Auburn's hit the ball out of the ballpark this year. They've had their biggest guys step up in the biggest moments. So Blake Rambush is a guy that we mentioned that yesterday. He's a guy that's got to get going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he led the team in hits this year, and he was 0 for, I believe, in the Super Regional. Yeah. So I mean, that's got to change, your leadoff guy.
I heard someone made a really good point that I kind of agreed with. They said, I think for Auburn and Ole Miss, their coaches are happy that they're the last game of the opening slate because they've got time to watch some of the other teams. They've got time to show up, and there's going to be a game in front of them. They'll get to look around at the place and kind of go ahead and see it and see it in game action, to where when the game starts, it won't be, kind of deer in headlights. Because for a lot of these Auburn players, I mean, they transferred in, and, they were told at the beginning of the year, both of these teams have been told that they weren't going to get there in different ways. Auburn was told all preseason, y'all are going to finish last. Y'all aren't going to be any good. And here they are in playing in Omaha. And then for Ole Miss, they – at the beginning of the year, had a lot of hype, lost all that hype. They were 7-14 in the SEC at one point. Everybody was wondering if they were even going to get in, and now here they are. And so they kind of talked about how it's probably going to be good for those two teams to have some other games. They can watch them on TV, and it'll kind of get them settled in to where they're not showing up going, man, I can't believe that we're here in Omaha. Like, we were told all year we wouldn't be here and told that we couldn't get here. And so I think it'll be interesting to see for either team, if you have any of that as well, some jitters and some being on the big stage. Because, with Auburn, with a lot of the transfers that they got coming from smaller places and things like that, this is the biggest moment that they've been in for sure. And they've handled it well up to this point. But when you get to Omaha, it's a little bit different. I mean, I was looking at a picture of that stadium the other day, and that's a Major League Baseball stadium. There's some Major League teams that would love to be playing in Omaha and play all their home games there compared to where they're playing right now. So. Yeah.
Is Rosenblatt still standing, by the way?
No, it's turned into like a parking deck or a mall or something like that, which is unfortunate. I grew up on Rosenblatt. Obviously, everybody else did. But, I mean, like my childhood was the college baseball video game came out when I was like 9 years old, and you played at Rosenblatt Stadium. And so I loved Rosenblatt Stadium. And the new park is nice, and it took it a few years for it to grow on me, especially – it was cool to me. I think the transition from BESR to BB Core and them changing stadiums at the same time was kind of cool because it almost signified, hey, this is a new era of college baseball now coming in. And, we didn't see but 3 home runs the first year that they moved over to the new stadium. So I think finally it's starting to come around. I heard something that there's 26 last year in the College World Series. So you're starting to see some more balls get out. It's a way bigger ballpark. That was one of the concerns everybody had for Tennessee, and it's one of the concerns a lot of people have for Texas coming in. But Texas also plays in a really big ballpark as well, in their home ballpark, and hit a bunch of home runs. So we'll see if that affects them, moving up, going up to Omaha. If maybe the air, normally the wind's blowing in a little bit more than it is blowing out. So how does that affect a team like Texas, who kind of lives and dies by the long ball for the most part?
I think Edouard Julien in 2019 hit one of the longest home runs ever at the new stadium.
Yeah.
So, Those homers have gotten
We've talked.
more, and
The
that's
bats have gotten better.
Yeah.
The balls, they changed the seams, which is making the ball fly a little bit more. So that's helping. But
Kyle brings up a good point too. Auburn went out and played earlier this year at Texas Rangers Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So playing in that big stadium, maybe that gives them, a little bit like, say, okay, we've been here. It's not bigger than the one we've already played in. So
you're going to be a little bit more people in Omaha than what we're at the Ranger Stadium. There's probably
so.
about 3,000 people that were at the Ranger Stadium at that time. So going to be just a little bit more people. That's the big thing.
The empty seats disguised as fans.
Yeah, so that's the big thing is at Omaha there's not empty seats. I mean it's packed out. There's noise. There's that type of stuff. I mean I get your point. I don't disagree with it, but this is going to be a little bit different setting than what it was playing at the beginning of the year over in the Ranger Stadium. But you also look back at that time in Auburn's season and how that really kind of set the tone for this team and what they beat some pretty good teams. You looked at it and went, man, maybe this team can go do something out here. And next thing you know, now they're sitting here in Omaha. So
yeah. All right, Oklahoma and Texas A&M. They kick things off at 1:00. Texas A&M, the number 5 seed. Oklahoma, upset. They were able to win that Super Regional. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a good matchup. I mean, you've got A&M who's been good all year.
Virginia Tech, I believe.
Oklahoma. Yeah. It's going to be a good matchup. I mean, you got Oklahoma's one of the hottest teams coming in at this time. They've not really pitched it great, but they've hit it great throughout most of this, from May and all into June. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup coming up at 1 to set the tone. And, for Texas A&M, if they can get this one, all of a sudden they're starting to really sniff getting to where because they're in the same boat as Auburn. They were told all year, y'all aren't going to make it and y'all aren't going to be any good. And it's going to be 2 or 3 years for a rebuild. And here they are in Omaha as well, and a team that a lot of people think can win the College World Series. So,
up against our first break here on the Auburn Blitz. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
The city famous for its music is quiet now, but it's about to be overwhelmed by the symphony of speed. Nashville Superspeedway will be rocking from the pit to the grandstand. June 24th through 26th, the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup Series race weekend brings a mix of incredible racing and live entertainment. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com today and join the full throttle fun.
At Glenn Smith in Opelika, we are proud to be celebrating our 30th anniversary. Enjoy big discounts on Chevrolet Buick and GMC SUVs. Chevy Equinox discounted up to $4,500. Buick Encores discounted up to $3,250. And GMC Acadias discounted up to $4,250. New inventory is arriving daily.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Caleb here with you. About 30 more minutes or about 45 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us today. We're brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. They are literally saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgage. You need to give them a call, 256-397-0248. 256-397-0248. If you are in the market to refinance, now is the time to do it. Actually, it may be past time, but it may be just getting under the wire here. So interest rates are going up. So that's just kind of the way it is. All right, College World Series, we were talking about that. Oklahoma, Texas A&M. Texas A&M going to kick things off at 1 o'clock. The Aggies, number 5 seed. Notre Dame and Texas tonight. Notre Dame knocking out Tennessee. Got to have a ton of confidence, I would think, coming in.
Yeah, they're going to have a ton of confidence, but it's going to be interesting to see from an emotional standpoint, how do they rebound now? You know, I mean, coming off of beating the number 1 team, celebrating the way they did, putting the emotions into that 3-game series the way they had to. You know, for Texas, they had the game 1 with ECU was really good. The game 2 was crazy because they came out the gates and scored, like 3 really early and then got a rain delay for about 5 hours and then had to come back and finish the game, and then they dominated the game. And so it'll just be interesting for me to see how Notre Dame kind of responds emotionally tonight. You know, can they bring the same intensity? Can they come out with the same type of emotions that they had against Tennessee? Because you know, you put a lot into trying to go and beat the number 1 team, but I think this is a Notre Dame team that feels like they got slighted. They felt like they should have been hosting a regional instead of Georgia Southern hosting a regional. They went down there and took care of business, ended up going to Tennessee and taking care of business. So they're going to keep trying to ride this momentum. They're not my favorite going into this, though. I wouldn't say that Notre Dame is. It would be a big surprise for Notre Dame to make a run in this thing. It's going to be a surprise to me if they're able to beat Texas tonight. Period. So.
Well, you also, I mean, there's also you got the pedigree type team.
Yeah. Texas,
Oklahoma, Stanford, teams that have were there perennially for years and years and years. It's been a while, I guess, since I don't remember Oklahoma being there.
2010 was that last time. Yeah.
Texas for that
Which
matter,
was that was last year Rosenblatt. I'm pretty sure it was 2010. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You got Arkansas, who is one out away, one fly ball away from winning a national championship. Arkansas and Stanford. Is Stanford the best team left in the tournament?
See, I don't
They're
think so.
the number 2 seed.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't. I watched Stanford against UConn last week. Number one, I think Stanford got a really good draw with UConn, and then number two, there wasn't anything that I watched with Stanford that jumped out where I was like, man, Stanford's really good. They got a chance to go win the national championship. I think that they're going to run into, one of these SEC teams, and I include Oklahoma and Texas as an SEC team now, by the way. So they're going to run into one of these SEC teams who's played better competition as a whole throughout the year, and I think that that's where they'll end up getting got.
No. I think that's probably, I think I'd probably agree with that. Hey, whoever, again.
Honestly, going into this, I feel like Texas has maybe the best shot to win it. Yeah. I think they got really good pitching. I think they can hit it. And so, they're probably who I favor going in, which means they'll probably go 0-2 here in a minute. But they're kind of in the same boat. Them and Arkansas are in the same boat of they feel like that they should have done a little bit better last year. Arkansas gets beat in the Super Regional last year. They felt like they should have been in Omaha. Texas got into Omaha, had the unreal game with Mississippi State, ends up losing to them. And so now I feel like that they've maybe got a little bit of motivation going in of, hey, we feel like we should have finished the job last year and been right there with a chance to win it and weren't. So now we're going to go and do it this year.
Well, everybody, I guess practically everybody is throwing their number one, either their number one or their number two or 1A, however you probably want to look at it. So, the numbers, I think I saw this, one time. I don't remember exactly what the percentages were, but, the just winning game one increases your chances of winning the national title. Huge numbers. So after these first 2 days, when you see who wins that first game, then you get a better idea to say, okay, I feel like maybe I can narrow it down. But right now, everybody's good. Everybody's playing well. They wouldn't be there if they weren't. So, and everybody's throwing that it's who do you have after that number one?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to determine how much farther you can go in this tournament.
Also, it's going to be interesting to watch over the first 4 games the approaches that these teams have. It's going to be later in the year. You're getting a number one who's normally around the zone, but do you try to maybe take some more pitches and work their pitch count up and try to get them out a little bit sooner, knowing that could affect them later on in the tournament? That type of stuff. I've heard coaches on podcasts talk about that, where when they get to this point, your strategy as a hitting team has to change a little bit because you're in a tournament now. It's an 18 tournament setting. It's double elimination, and you're trying to make other teams use pitching the way they're trying to make you use pitching as well. So,
how deep is your bullpen?
Mm-hmm. And Auburn right now, Auburn's in good shape when it comes to their bullpen. That's if as an Auburn fan, you have to feel really good going into the College World Series because of what the bullpen has done, the depth of the bullpen, how many guys that you have put in situations that you have really needed to count on them and they've come through. And so that could be a big factor for Auburn going into this is the way that the bullpen has, Auburn has 3 really good starters, but they've also got about 4 guys in the pen that you can count on that could make a big difference.
I was going to say, I bet Butch would say I feel comfortable throwing 6 guys out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
And that's been a while since Auburn's been that deep. Legitimately, they've had guys that they could throw, but not where you just go, okay, I feel pretty good about this.
But you're going to have to count on these starters. Trace Bright's had a couple of starts here over the last little bit where he's gotten knocked around early and stuff. You can't have one of those situations happen because all of a sudden then the bullpen gets really stressed.
You got to get out of the first inning.
Yeah.
No 45, 47 pitch first innings. That ain't going to work.
He's had, 2 of those over the last month.
Yeah,
so
that's not good. Up against another break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Caleb here with you. About 30 more minutes left in today's show. We are brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center with 10 locations around Central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Do-It Center today. You'll be glad that you did. Just kind of bouncing around some information from going on around the Auburn football program. Jeremiah Wright continuing to shuffle, doing his best Elvis Presley, the rubbernecking. Going from offense to defense, offense to defense, offense to defense. 6'5", 335-pound, kind of an athletic guy, too. Got to find a place for him. He started out as an offensive lineman from Selma. Auburn brought him in. He redshirted, I think. Derek Mason said, hey, let's try this kid at defense. He was the star of the spring. He was I think everybody was just super excited, said this guy's going to be a stalwart on the interior defensive line. He's going to be great. Tore his ACL. in spring football. Then you have the coaching change. He ends up going back to offensive line and worked out there for a little bit, and didn't play at all last year, but was supposedly, I think, with the offensive line in the spring. Now he has approached the coaching staff about switching back this summer to the defensive line. Perhaps Auburn feels like, with all the senior leadership and even backups with an experienced tackles and whatnot, that he will be better served, and maybe he feels like he'll be better served on the defensive line. This much switching back and forth, I just don't know how this works out well.
The only positive to it is playing interior defensive line, which is what he plays. There's not much to learn, Like you either know how to play defensive line or not. So, and obviously he was playing it really well last spring. You have to understand, certain twists and stuff like that they do up front. But for the most part, it's just see ball, get ball, and fill in a gap and stuff like that. Whereas there's a lot more to learn on the offensive line. So if he was making a switch this late to the offensive line, there'd be two concerns. It'd be, one, can he learn it in time? And two, why are we having to move somebody on the offensive line this late? So I think him moving over to defensive line isn't as big of a negative, but it is. We talked about it going into this because I even said it. I interviewed Jeremiah Wright when he was at Selma. I like Jeremiah Wright. He's a good kid. I feel bad for him in the fact that he's had to move around a lot. He's had the injury that he's had, and he's never really been able to get his footing at Auburn. And so maybe he can't, maybe he looks at it like you said, and there's some depth on the offensive line this year, and he goes, I'm not going to play there this year. I want to get on the field. I've been sitting here for a while now. So he probably looks at the defensive line, sees that as his best chance to get on the field, sees how he was playing last spring during the spring scrimmages. And, that's the only thing I can think of with him making that move to get over there is that he just sees playing time.
And it makes sense. You could do even a 2 or even a 3 deep rotation on the defensive line.
Yeah.
One guy's playing on the offensive line.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way it works. So,
I wonder why we've always done that.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Auburn ran 2 separate 5-man offensive lines. They had 2 distinct offensive lines in the 80s. That's how they played it when they did the wishbone. And, they would sub them in.
I've always wondered why we've looked at offensive line and just said they're going to play the whole game and then defensive line's going to swap out.
That's what I asked the guy that played offensive line back in Auburn in the 80s. I said, Neil Calloway, he was the offensive line. I said, why don't they do that today? He said, I have no idea. I said, I understand the fact you want your best 5 on the field. He said, yeah, but if you got a guy that's played half as many snaps, he's going to beat the guy in front of him if he even is more talented because he's got more juice. So it makes no sense to me. I don't understand.
The only thing I can think of is with defense, you're running around chasing all the time, and with an offensive lineman, you're either going back blocking or you're going forward blocking, and it's not as tiring. Because defense, you're trying to get
offenses though. You're running up and down the field.
I've wondered it too, and what you'll probably see is in 5 or 10 years, you'll have some coach come along that has 2 offensive lines, and that'll become the big fad.
Revolutionary.
And we'll come back to this episode and say, hey, Andy and Caleb were talking about this 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're ahead of the curve. That's where they stay. Jeffrey Imba, of course, he transfers in. He's from France. They love him, love his athleticism, say he's a monster. We'll see what happens with that. Marquise Robinson entered the transfer portal, then came back out. And Morris Joseph coming over from Memphis, an edge rusher on the defensive line as well. So Jeremiah Wright, even with those guys and all the starters as well coming back, he feels like he's got a better opportunity to contribute there. So hopefully good for him, and hopefully he does get a chance. Auburn's football-only facility, $92 million, supposed to be state-of-the-art, maybe one of the nicest, if not the nicest in the entire country, looking to be completed and move. They're looking to move in by late November or early December. Seen pictures of this, seen sketches of this. Looks like, it's going to be really, really, really nice. I can't wait to get an opportunity. Hopefully it will pay big dividends.
Anything's better than what's there right now. It's been there since what, 1970 something?
I think 80s.
Yeah.
When it was,
okay, that's 40 years ago.
Yeah, it was a little while ago.
Yeah. So
Do facilities like this make that big a difference anymore with the NIL world?
I definitely think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you still want a nice place to go hang out at, and I mean that's where they spend a majority of their time is at that place. So
does it have a barbershop? I mean, that's like the integral question. And
yeah, I guess getting free haircuts is important.
It's got
make an NIL deal.
It's got
with
a
somebody.
flight simulator, from what I
That's pretty cool.
understand. So yeah. NFL talent on the defensive line. Auburn is still looking for help at the edge rusher position through the transfer portal. Western Kentucky Marcus Bragg visiting this weekend. Tiger staff doesn't expect him to overtake players like Derek Hall and Iku Leota, but they need a reliable number 4 to fill out the depth chart, so that's one to keep an eye on. We're talking about official visitors as well, so another transfer possibly from Western Kentucky. We'll see.
I always wonder with guys like this late, like Auburn's in the middle of summer workout, so what is he doing? You know, I mean, I'm sure he's probably doing something on his own, but it's not what the team's doing. So how do you have a guy come in this late and then, you know, and then as the team, how do you accept a guy this late? Just going, okay, yeah, you decide to skip summer and come in and, you know, get to the fun part. So
depends on how talented he is.
Yeah, that's true too.
They'll make room for him, and everybody will be very accommodating if he can help the team. Got to take another break here. We'll be right back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages.
Lake Martin has a new car buying experience. It's the TR Group of Alex City on Cherokee Road. The TR Group has up to 100 late model vehicles to choose from and will not be beat on price, selection, or financing. With the TR Group, your selection and quality is easy and your good credit is rewarded. But we offer guaranteed financing on our inventory because your future is more important than your past. The TR Group, Lake Martin's new standard in auto sales. Located at 814 Cherokee Road, Alex City, USA.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Whether you prefer bricks, clicks, or taps, there's one place built around all your needs. For whatever it is you want to do. Even if your needs change, we'll be right there with you, making it all possible. Because you never know when a new addition will come along. So walk in, log on, or tap away. Either way, Valley's built to help you do you. Wherever life takes you, we'll be right there with you.
Hey guys, this is Nate Pass with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house, you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River Region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, Brubaker, Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Caleb here with you. Only a couple more segments left in today's show on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Looking, and again, some inside info on some things going on with the Auburn football program right now. Freshman wide receiver Omari Kelly really impressed a lot of people. This is a guy from Hewitt-Trussville. They feel like he is adapting really well, and he could be a major contributor early.
Oh, he's a guy that I've said, I watched him a couple times at Hewitt-Trussville when they played Thompson and Hoover and some of those big games, and I said he's a guy that'll come in and contribute immediately for Auburn. They need guys like that. They need guys like him. They need a transfer to come in, the one from LSU to come in and make an impact. Auburn's going to need that, but what we've talked about numerous times on here, and we expect it to be better this year, but got to give the quarterback time to throw to these guys or it's not going to matter. So
that's always a big part. It's always a big part of it. Everything works in concert. Camden Brown also, he's got a lot of size. Jay Fair, supposed to be the speedster of the bunch. These three guys are your three freshmen that are coming in. They all have a chance to contribute. Speaking of another wide receiver, Xavier Capers, according to one insider, he has NFL ability. He just has not realized it and put it all together yet. So if you're looking for a guy maybe that's already on the Auburn roster that has an opportunity to take a big step forward, Xavier Capers might be that guy. We've seen flashes of it leading up to this, but like I said, sometimes it takes guys a year or two to put it together. Sometimes it doesn't happen. But hopefully that's yet another guy that an Auburn quarterback could be throwing to if they have time to do that.
And if he'll get it together as well from what it sounds like with T.J. Finley talking about, other guys have had to kind of take him under, and make sure that he's doing stuff right and all that. And, look, that happens. There's plenty of kids. That's what people don't get with some of these guys. Alabama fans, the worst about it, you'll get some, and then they want to talk about this 5-star all the time. It's like, just because he was ranked 5-star, these guys that rank these guys, they don't know what their work ethic is. They don't know what their accountability is. Some of these guys, their high school coach allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do and then just show up on game days. I remember I visited a place last year where the guy talked about the biggest thing that his players had to get used to was showing up for practice. The previous coaching staff just allowed guys to miss practice, and on Friday nights they'd be out there starting and playing in the game, so kids just thought, I can just not show up to practice and go play, and they had to change that there. So that happens at these places, and sometimes it takes a year or two for these guys to really understand, okay, this is a different world that I'm in, and if I don't fix something, then I'm going to get left behind. And some guys never figure it out, and they do get left behind. And you hope for Capers that that's not the case, because from what it sounds like, and I think even at times when he got the ball in his hands, you could see that there's something there, but being able to put it together consistently and holding yourself accountable and doing all the right things outside of just playing in the game the right way, all that stuff matters as well.
And it's as much off the field as it on the field.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Again, that fans don't normally see. They don't see, certainly from everyday basis. They only see what happens.
Well, that's like I heard about with Demetrius Davis. Auburn fans were wanting him to play, Well, I got a buddy of mine who his cousin dated Demetrius is it Robertson? Am I saying Demetrius Davis or which one? What was the quarterback's name?
Demetrius Davis.
Demetrius Davis. Okay. His cousin dated him for a little bit and stuff, and he didn't know the playbook. at all. Like she said that his dad would call him and get on to him about, son, you need to be learning the playbook. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And the buddy of mine is a big Auburn fan, and because we were talking about that, I was like, I just don't get why he didn't get a chance. He goes, I can tell you why he didn't get a chance. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. He didn't do the thing. So there's all that stuff that, the coach ain't going to come out and say, hey, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's too dumb to learn the playbook. Blah, blah. He's not putting in the effort. They're not going to tell you that as a fan, but that type of stuff happens, and it happens at every single program all over the country.
A battle at left tackle with Alec Jackson and Alex Troxell, both seniors, so that's going to be, we know what pretty much they've got. Alec Jackson played a good bit last year. Austin Troxell kind of continuing to recover from yet another injury. Brandon Council and Cam Stutz. Cam Stutz, a guy that's never started a game at Auburn, but he has turned a lot of heads. Finally, this a light coming on type situation. It took him this long, but he's been at Auburn for a long time. Maybe he's finally putting everything he's got into it. He's an enormous human being, but he and Brandon Council both. So Auburn's got some options at least, and competition usually brings out the best. So hopefully that will only increase the probability that Auburn's offensive line is better in 2022. And Zach Calzada finally earning some respect. He is 100% healthy. He's working in these off-season workouts and things. Shedrick Jackson, the senior wide receiver. Coy Moore, the transfer. Will it be Zach Calzada? Will it be TJ Finley? We will see. I would imagine it will be one of those two guys. And at least both giving max effort up to this point, it would seem. Official visitors in this weekend, 4-star edge rusher Gabriel Harris. He is a Georgia commitment from Valdosta, Georgia, number 138 player in the country. But he is at Auburn, at least giving them a look. 4-star defensive tackle Anthony James from Wiley, Texas, number 184 player in the country. He recently decommitted from Texas A&M. David Hobbs, another 4-star defensive lineman from Concord, North Carolina, number 174 player. Linebacker Lewis Carter, 4-star from Tampa, Florida, 177 player. Jeremiah Cobb from Montgomery Catholic, a lot of people really high on him, 4-star running back, number 206 player. And Connor Liu from Ackworth, Georgia, a interior defensive lineman, 3-star, rated the number 775th player in the country, but he does have offers from Clemson, Miami, and Georgia. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in that number. That's your 6 official visitors this weekend. A couple of more in the midweek. Carmelo English from Phoenix City, Stanton Ramel from Alabaster, I guess Thompson, an offensive tackle, and Darren Reed, and I think Brock Glenn, the quarterback, 4-star, going to announce here in the next couple of weeks. That one from Memphis, Tennessee, Caleb's favorite place. So
I like Jeremiah Cobb a lot, though.
Yeah,
he'd be a good get.
And he's getting offers from Ohio State,
yeah,
and everybody's kind of after him. So that would be really good, really nice if Auburn could snag him. That would be a nice piece to add. We got to take one final break. We'll be back with one last segment of the Auburn Blitz right after these messages.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Friday afternoon. One final segment. We're brought to you by Big Fish Real Estate. Big Fish is for all your real estate needs here in the Lake Martin area as well as down there on the coast. Give them a call today, 551-BIG-FISH, or look them up, bigfishlakemartin.com. Jim wants to know, Caleb, how far does Auburn go in the CWS? Take it to the bank, ladies and gentlemen.
I think they'll beat Ole Miss first game, lose the next game, win the loser's bracket game, and lose the next one. So 2-2. And I think you should take that.
That's better than 2 in a barbecue.
It's also better than and it's also better than what anybody expected going into the year. I mean, I told you were surprised by it, but I told you going into the year that I'd heard people and seen people on Twitter calling for Butch Thompson's head, which is really crazy. It was crazy when I was hearing it at that time, but you know, as a non-Auburn fan, I was sitting here going, "Hey, if y'all want to make a move, go ahead." I mean, I hope you find somebody worse, but you know, I didn't understand.
Regionals in 4 years,
I'm a big Butch Thompson fan. I mean, I said somebody, I think it was a Mississippi State account tweeted the other day and said, you know, if Butch Thompson can beat Oregon State, he needs to be talked about as one of those upper echelon SEC coaches. And I said, he should already be talked about as one of them. It shouldn't take beating Oregon State. I mean, 3 super regionals. He got Auburn to a College World Series, and he took over crap that he was left with from Sonny Galloway. So he's done a pretty good job, and he's done it in a state that it's not easy to recruit in as well. I mean, he's built a power in a state that you have other disadvantages that other states around you that you're competing in the same conference with they don't have to deal with the same stuff. They're able to offer more money and things like that.
I was led to believe that there may be about to relook at and up the scholarships for college baseball.
That would be fantastic.
If that happens, look out, because he's doing this now with one hand tied behind his back.
Yeah.
And for that matter, Bohannon at Alabama.
No, it would help the schools in the state.
I hope y'all fire Bohannon. I really do, because it would be right about the time maybe Carl Nunmaker gets a job and we can hire him back.
Yeah, and he can come in and recruit again.
Yeah.
He's gonna be on the hot seat next year, though, for sure. I mean, he's 6 years in, and I think it's the fact that what Auburn's done in baseball. You know, you have your certain people that are saying, well, he's got this recruit this event. Then you have your other people that are Alabama fans going, okay, well, then look at Auburn. How come they're able to go do it? You know, and so I think that's why his seat's starting to heat up a little bit, is just because it's 6 years in now. You've got your guys now, so you better start winning some games and start. Now, granted, he couldn't see that Connor Prelip was going to miss his whole entire career at Alabama as well, and he would have made a pretty big difference. But he's definitely going to be getting looked at really hard, I think, next year. The pressure to win is going to be on for him. And it was on for Butch Thompson somehow this year. I don't understand how, but he's probably bought himself some more time now, I would think, for a little bit. So
it is June the 17th on this day, 1962. Jack Nicklaus won his first major. It was the U.S. Open in an 18-hole playoff with Arnold Palmer. I would have loved to have watched that. That would have been really cool.
I can't believe they used to play 18-hole playoffs. I mean, I like the way you had you had back-to-back weeks where they had to go to a playoff here recently, and I like the new way where it's, it's 3 holes no matter what, and if you're tied after that, then it's sudden death the rest of the way. But it gives you 3 holes to play, and that's 1/6 of a
Masters
round of golf.
Death.
Yeah,
1 hole, right?
I like it that way. With the 3 holes though, you guaranteed 3 holes, so that way you know, because otherwise you're going into that first hole and it's like, man, I just got done playing 18. Now the pressure's on for me to perform at my peak here on this hole, and so I like the 3-hole playoff and then sudden death after that. I think that would be the way for golf to go universally, and they need to have some universal rules. I like that different courses have certain rules and stuff, but I think that they're getting to a level now where you are on this big stage. I mean, that would be like, baseball saying, hey, here in Atlanta, you only have to get 3 outs an inning, but when you go to New York, you got to get 4 outs an inning. I mean, just have some kind of universal rule that everybody goes by, and everybody knows, no matter what, if this happens, then this is what's going to happen.
Caleb is demanding that.
Well, I'm big into UFC and stuff too, and that's been the big thing with MMA is you got all these different organizations that have all these different rules, and so you got fighters that go from this organization to this one, and they do something that was legal in this one, that's illegal in this one, and just have some kind of universal rules that everybody can go by, and it's going to help the sport grow.
It makes sense. Ralph Bellamy, happy birthday today, 1904. He was in Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. He's one of the old codgers. Yeah. Maury Stokes, he played in the NBA. Tragically, he
37.
Last game of the season, he went in for a layup, got hit in the head, and hit his head on the floor, and was revived with smelling salts, ended up coming back in the game. First game of the playoffs, he came, and on the way home after that night, he had like a seizure, and it turned out he had like a brain injury.
Wow.
And, he ended up being paralyzed.
Which they didn't know back then.
No. But the great story, black guy, ends up being legal. His teammate and friend, a white guy, ends up, I forget his name I off the top of my head, but he ends up being his legal guardian, taking care of him for the rest of his life.
Wow.
Great story. But he ended up, he fought and –
Did you see the video of the boxer last week that was going around where he hit another guy, knocked him down, knocked him out of the ring, and then they brought the guy back into the ring. The referee said go, and the boxer that knocked him out of the ring then walked over into the corner and started just boxing a ghost. And they were like, whoa, what's going on? So they stepped in, and then he kind of kept going and then just kind of passed out into the referee's arms. He ended up dying in the hospital last week. But he had a brain, his brain just started swelling from, I guess, getting hit so much, and it takes time for it to finally get to a point where you go out. And so he was still boxing, getting hit in the head while his brain was swelling, and then ended up passing out in the ring, and then they took him to the hospital, and he died last week. So
rough sport.
Yeah.
Barry Manilow, happy birthday. Dave Concepcion, shortstop for the Big Red Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Piscopo, funny guy. John Grease, who is Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bobby Farrelly, Thomas Hayden Church, Greg Kinnear, Dan Jansen, Jason Patrick, Popeye Jones, Jay McKnight, and Venus Williams, all born on this day.
It's crazy to think she's 42 years old. She's in great shape to be 42 as well. And I saw her Serena's making her return to Wimbledon. So
I will see how that works out.
yeah, I mean, she's first time back, and you know she's kind of getting to that age now. She's probably not.
That's going to wrap it up for us. Hope all of you have a great weekend. He's Caleb. I'm Andy. So long. For now, we'll talk again soon.